Have we gotten to a point where the portal is ruining college football yet? Let's talk about it. So I've wanted to make this video for a while. If you enjoy college football stuff, be sure to hit that like button so we can continue making videos like this. It was reported, again, I don't know if these numbers are 1000% accurate, but there's something along the lines of about 3,000 players roughly in all of D1 football in the portal. And you know what? To me, this isn't crazy. It isn't crazy. Like, it's not crazy seeing, ASU's quarterback Sam Levitt, like, especially from the point of view of an ASU fan, where it's like you can be bitter about it, and him leaving. Which right now talks are he's going to go to Kentucky. We're going to get Kentucky's quarterback in return. Which, try to say that 5 times back. Quarterback for quarter. Anyways, regardless, I think one thing that has been really driven home is player-driven league. And right now college football is kind of like a mini amateur version of what the NFL is. And in some ways, yeah, I do agree, because it's kind of turned into free agency. I mean, we look at some quarterbacks like DJ Lagway, who has left and he's not at Florida anymore. We look at Sorsby from Cincinnati, which reports are he's going to go to Texas Tech. And then we look at other quarterbacks like Rocco Becht, who just had a decent career, I will say, at Iowa State, but then he ends up following Coach Campbell to Penn State. Which, did that surprise me or shock me that he would go from Iowa State to Penn State? No, it actually doesn't surprise me at all, because right now we are in a unique time of college football where loyalty kind of doesn't matter, and I think it's part of it is about money and it is about the bag, which I get that, and I'm not going to hate on 21-year-olds trying to go get it, because, look at what's going on with Cincy's quarterback Sorsby. The dude will be getting paid $5 million. It's reported. I don't know how, factual and 100% it is, but it says the dude's going to get, $5 million from Texas Tech. Listen, I'll tell you what. If they're willing to pay you $5 million, who's going to say no to that? You know what I mean? And people are hating on it, too, from the point of view of, oh, we shouldn't have sixth-year seniors. These guys should be moving on. I mean, I think about quarterbacks like Avery Johnson, who has another year of eligibility. And I had high hopes for K-State this season, but it's interesting and it's kind of cool for me to see that, quarterbacks like Avery Johnson and Arch Manning, regardless of how their season went, they ended up staying. And I think one thing that will be consistent in all this wild chaos of what college football is in the portal is, if you're winning, I think players will stay. Like Trinidad, for example, with Ole Miss. I don't think he's going to leave to LSU. I think if, okay, we laid an egg, we lost to Tulane, or if the Sugar Bowl wasn't the outcome that we had, yeah, maybe he would have left and hit the portal. But I think right now, what's being shown more now than ever is, I think, transparency from roster to roster and it flipping. I think the teams that stay together, like Oregon, because Dante Moore could have left, he sat the bench, or I mean, I can't say the thing for Mendoza, because Mendoza came from Cal, but the rosters that stick together and stuff, because I still think, when Bo Nix was there, or even before with Gabriel, I still think there are Oregon Duck players that are still there. I think when you stick with the team and you build that culture, because that's a lot of what Kirby Smart talked about at Georgia as well. I don't think that can be replicated. And I'm not saying that that's why Texas Tech ended up losing, because they built their roster from the ground up. Kansas this year, Utah, Iowa State's going to have to, Penn State as well, because a lot of their teams' success or failure, these are teams that a lot of players did hit the portal. Something that the point that I'm trying to make here is, I think culture does matter in college football, and with how wild it is right now, where, oh my gosh, there's no regulations, there's nothing on it. I do think there will come a time where it's gonna all even itself out, where the blue bloods of college football, like the Notre Dames, Nebraska, Florida State, Alabama, LSU, the teams who have been successful this whole time throughout the whole history of college football, there's something that tells me, after we get out of the wild west of what it's been for the last 5 years, we're going to probably get back to square one, where Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, Clemson, Who's another? Oklahoma. Like these teams who were leaders of the Pac-12, leaders of the Big Ten, Big 12, ACC, SEC. It's going to eventually go back to that. Will there be parity? Obviously, I think there will, but I think it will eventually figure itself out. But I mean, with what we saw earlier in the season about a month ago, I think I'm not surprised we're seeing players hit the portal either for playtime, because I mean, a lot of other colleges are promising, hey, you're going to get playtime if we come here, because they're poaching, which totally it is. That's a whole separate video for another thing. But what we're seeing with loyalty and trying to commit to a coach, and we saw it clear as day with the Ole Miss LSU situation with Kiffin, where I mean, yeah, I don't blame if there were seniors that committed to Ole Miss, how they would feel after seeing their coach leave, or incoming freshmen go, okay, you know, I was told, and this also goes for, you know, players who are on the Bulls, players who are on Tulane, like with all the other head coaches that have left to other spots. Like, I mean, you know, yeah, we're dogging on Lane Kiffin the most, but it's like he's not the only coach that left his program. Like, there are many others. But for those players that, you know, yeah, I committed to this school, I committed to being here for my collegiate career. No, I don't actually blame them for hitting the portal and then leaving if their coach leaves as well or gets fired, because I mean, that's just kind of how it is, and this is what college football has turned into. We know it's a business, but enough of my ranting, enough of my raving. That's my thoughts and reactions to where the portal is now. Is it going to get fixed? No, it's not going to get fixed. We know this. It's kind of turned into the G League of the NFL, but who knows when it's going to get fixed. Personally, I think it's kind of fun to see where, you know what, one good off season of recruiting and building a team, you can be right back in the mix. Because look at, I joked about this. I've joked about this in streams before. I think Virginia Tech or Wisconsin or hell, even Penn State, Florida as well, or Auburn, because you look at some of the teams that did fire their coach this year. I don't think Florida's out of it, or even Florida State, for example. Like, I don't think they're out of it 100%, because like, you look at teams that were worst to first. I mean, like, it's starting to happen across the board where teams can hit the portal, recruit well, get guys to get those pieces to win games, and then look at this. They're competing for Big Ten championships. They're competing for the SEC, Big 12, Indiana. Case in point. Look at where they were a handful of seasons ago versus where they were last year, you know, because they had a really good season. Their only blemishes were the loss to Ohio State and then Notre Dame. And then look at where they are now. Recruit a great quarterback, go on this run, Rose Bowl champs, and they're one win away from playing in the national championship. So that's all my thoughts that I got, guys. Thanks for listening to me rant this long. I'll see you guys in the next video.